And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we back with another one. Now today, epic VeVe live stream. We have the Avengers issue number 47. This is the first appearance of Dane Whitman, the Dark Knight. Now this is going to be a great comic book. I love the artwork on these. I'm actually more of a fan of the ultra rare, more so than the common on this one. Love how the colors look together, and also the secret rare. The secret rare just looks really clean on that white background again today. So big fan of that. Let me dive into the details. So it's a blind box again today, $7 for the price. 30,000 editions. We know it's going to sell out super fast, so you got to be quick today. 21,000 editions for the common. We got 5,000 editions for the uncommon, 2,350 for the rare, 1,050 for the ultra rare, and 600 for the secret rare. Shout out to everybody joining the chat today. We got Kelvin in the house. How we doing, fam? James Feelings here early. Yo, bro, how we doing? We got Brendan in the building. I just want to shout out to everybody who supports, joins the live streams early. You guys really make this happen. You guys aren't just here for me, like especially Brendan. He's with the whole entire VeVe influencers. Like shout out to you guys. We got Kurt in the building. And how we doing? How we doing, fam? Good morning, VeVe fam. Good luck on the drop. Hopefully, we blessed the chat today. We got some secret rares in the live stream. I love when everybody's able to have a great day on the live. Let me go over my favorites. Again, like I said, my favorite is the ultra rare. I'm going to bring it up on my phone so you guys can see. I think these are going to sell out absolutely quick, like just super quick. I think this is definitely a hodl too. I think this is a pretty good comic book. It's not like a holy grail, but we definitely have another first appearance. So this is the common. Pretty solid. I like the common a little bit more than the uncommon. The uncommon's the same thing, just without the colors. Then we got the rare. Definitely looks cool. But then the ultra rare just pops. Love that. And then the secret rare. The secret rare, again, looks pretty clean on that white background. Shout out to Dan Schauble. He was one of the people that definitely mentioned that Marvel's trying to basically convey that anything on that white background tends to mean that it's pretty important, pretty valuable. And I would definitely have to agree. We got Trey Ortiz in the building. Let's go. Shout out to the whole VeVe fam. How we doing, fam? Again, we got another comic book dropping next. I think it's tomorrow, I believe, Wednesday. Maybe it's Thursday. I forget the exact date, but that's definitely going to be a great comic book to get. And then this weekend, who knows what's going to drop? I'm under the impression that every drop from here on out into 2022, into 2023, it's going to be a big drop. Now, of course, obviously, there's going to be some drops that aren't as big. But I think eventually we're going to get to the point where we have so many drops every other day, multiple drops. It's going to be where you do have to kind of choose what you want. Right now, we're in the position to be able to grab every single thing almost. But for a lot of us, especially those who aren't balling on a big budget, right, we're going to have to kind of pick and choose which ones we want at the end of the day. So I definitely think it's important to focus as we continue to grow, as we continue to push forward into all these drops that are happening. I think it's really important to focus on what you love, because we're going to get to the point where most of us, we're not able to collect every single thing that drops. Yeah, definitely. It's okay, Brandon. You can definitely reserve your luck for tomorrow's drop. Tomorrow, I think, is definitely a great comic book. This is like a little warm-up. I hope I get my first drop today. Billy Bob Bitcoin. Yeah, I hope you do too. I think I've seen you in the chat before, so I know you've definitely been trying for a while now. And Petro, shout out to you, brother. You got your first drop the other day, I think, right? A couple days ago. Yeah, everyone's saving gems for tomorrow. That's so funny. Now, I do think that's definitely the case. And again, I think what's going to happen big time at the end of this month, shout out to Brock. He was on it early. We saw it happen, I think it was a couple months ago, maybe, the first time where they started to delist old listings in the marketplace. Now, a lot of people, that doesn't mean much to them. They don't really understand what that means. But basically what happened last time is we went from seeing, say, I'm just going to use a random number and a random collectible. We went from seeing, maybe, what was it, like 500 FA Jokers in the marketplace to then all of a sudden, once they delisted all those old listings, I think there was less than 100 FA Jokers in the marketplace. So that's going to be big time. And now what's going to happen again, what they're doing is in 30 days, and I think this happened about 5 to 10 days ago. So sometime at the end of December, they're going to delist all of the listings that have been, over 30 days long. So this second time when they do this, because they already did it once, I think we're about to see a huge effect on the market, or I should say in the market, I would say. Because what that means is, say if there's 1,000 collectibles in the market for one comic book, right? Well, once they delist all the old listings, I would say 70 to 80% of them might be gone out of the market. So you may see crazy jumps in prices, the gaps between each collectible, and the floors could become really weak, meaning take off. That's how I'm seeing it. Brendan's saying, since there's a comic on Tuesday and Wednesday, it makes me think there's a big collectible on Thursday or Saturday. Possibly. Maybe they're gearing up for something big, but we don't really know. I mean, that's a great thing about VeVe is they always keep us guessing, right? I mean, it could be something like Myrmicornos, right? To where it kind of throws us for a loop. We're not really as excited as something like a Darth Vader drop or something huge like that. So VeVe always keeps us on our toes, which is great because they have to. They have such a big fan base. They have to meet the needs of almost everybody, right? They have to keep it balanced. Yeah, I agree. Tomorrow's Doc Ock first appearance, which is huge, right? That's definitely a big character. And everybody knows who Doc Ock is, especially with the movie coming out. Like, I think that comic book is going to be, I think that's going to be a good one to get. Concrete Statues said, if I can get one, it will be my first. Well, shout out to you. Hopefully you can get one. Do you suggest being on mobile data or Wi-Fi? I like being on Wi-Fi. Lately, I've been having great success actually without an Ethernet cable. So I'm just using my wireless Wi-Fi. One thing I like to do is exit out all my apps that I'm using currently, besides VeVe, obviously. And like right now, I'll even exit out VeVe just because we got enough time. I'll show you guys exactly where to go. So if you're on this main screen right here, we got the store tab at the bottom. Just click Avengers. This is the drop. You can kind of cycle through, look through, like I was doing earlier, look through, preview all the comic book covers. This is the ultra rare. This is my favorite one. Secret rare. And then just keep scrolling down. This is the drop screen that you want to be on. It's got the timer right there. And basically, you just wait on this screen until you see once you see 30 seconds, that's when you really want to start to get focused. Because once that 10 seconds comes up, 5 seconds, you got to be on point. And as soon as you see 3, 2, 1, a 0 is going to pop up, 0, semicolon 0. And then about a second right after that, the buy now button pops up, and you got to be as quick as possible. That's actually an interesting point, Brendan. I don't know how many editions it's going to be. If it is a limited edition, that's going to be a very valuable comic. That's going to be one. If it's like a Kang, see, I wasn't really familiar with who Kang was. So to me, like, that's a cool comic to have. I'm glad I have one at least. But I'm not all about that. If this Doc Ock one comes and it's as limited as that, I'm really going to be pushing to try to get at least a couple of them. Ooh, this looks like a risky but solid move. Pokely99 said, sold Wonder Woman, a spare Elsa, so like a duplicate Elsa, a duplicate Bart for Superman, Marvel Comics #1, Avengers #8, Spider-Man #1, and Hitmonkey. Okay, interesting. So I like the moves pretty much. Wonder Woman, I think it's going to be big, but I think it was a good sell to get, Marvel Comics #1, a Superman, a spare Elsa, so it's not like you're getting rid of Elsa completely, because I think that's going to be a huge, a golden moment. Same thing with Bart. But again, that's why duplicates are so important. So shout out to you, Pokely99, because I'll just touch on duplicates real quick for any new users tuning in. Duplicates saved my entire collection, meaning when I was early, if I only got one of every collectible, there's no way I would have been able to keep putting money in and continue the collection that I have now. So one of the best decisions I did, besides going all in right away, was buying, 7 to 10 Todd Batmans at retail, FA Jokers, FA Harley Quinns. Now, you don't have to buy 7, right? But if you're able to buy 2, or maybe even 3 or 4, 3 is that magic number. But if you're just able to buy 2, any duplicates will save your collection, meaning you can always hold that one collection for a while, and then you can sell off that duplicate or trade it, basically what Pokeleaf did here. So Marvel Comics #1, the first comic ever released on VeVe. I think that's going to be iconic, huge. And then we have the Avengers #8, Spider-Man #1. Which Spider-Man was it, Pokeleaf? Was it the common? Because even the common, I mean, is big time now. Just kind of ran up. It was, I think, $80 to $100 for the longest time. It was even under $30 for a while. But I think just recently just got up to like $350, almost $400 at one point, but it's floating around $360 right now. And then the Hit Monkey. That's awesome. That's awesome. Amazing Spider-Man #3. Glad to see the fam here. Oh, that's right. That's right. And Petra got the Wonder Woman on the first drop. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I know Brendan liked to see that Hit Monkey. Brendan's got a crazy Hit Monkey comic book. He actually got it on a drop. I think a sub 300 secret rare, something crazy like that. I'll lose my mind, Kurt. That would be awesome. A little Christmas surprise. Oh, yeah. See, that's another thing for any new users. I mean, take your time when you're selling something, because we've seen it all the time. People try to sell something for 170, accidentally hit 17 because we do it fast, right? I mean, a lot of times it could be, late night, early in the morning. You're trying to get that collectible off quick. You hurry up, press 170, confirm, because a little double tap confirm screen there. And a lot of times you may only hit 17, or sometimes if you're trying to sell it for, $1,500, you may just forget real quick, put 1.5K, and you just sold it for $1.50. And mistakes like that continue to happen all the time today. And it's unfortunate to see it. You never want to see that. If I ever do catch someone and I buy something like that, I would give it back to the person if they contacted me or if I knew them or something like that. Just because it is a bad feeling, you feel deflated. But just remember, if that does happen to you, chalk it up as an L, move forward. It's a paid lesson, right? You paid for a class that nobody gets taught this stuff. NFTs are such a new space. Nicole in the house. How we doing? How we doing, Nicole? Good luck today. Hopefully you grab something. Wow, that's a steal. 50 gems for a rare storm. Spider-Man movie is going to break records, bro. I think so, man. I agree, Dre Ortiz. I actually had my common Spider-Man listed for a while. I was trying to sell it last night because I have a few extras still. I don't have 10 anymore, obviously, but I felt like with that run-up, I was trying to sell it for like 390, 380 because I felt like it ran up so quick to where I could see it. Since I have duplicates, I can kind of take chances when I want to with a high edition number or something like that. And I was trying to time it with that one. I wanted to sell for like 390-ish. I thought it might dip back down to like 300-ish. And that would have been a come up $100. And it did actually do exactly that. Mine just never sold at the top. So still got my 3 common Spideys. I think we will see more Spider-Man actually, which is crazy to some people. But again, it's going to really it's going to shine that light on the first ever Spider-Man, the first ever Marvel NFT. So I think it will be a good thing if more Spider-Man come. The Grinch conspiracy theories are flying around. And so this kind of got started, I think, with David Yu's Instagram. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. So this is kind of how it started. So David Yu was kind of teasing. It started with all the FUD and everything, the bots. This is David Yu's Instagram. Lawmakers are now working on banning bots ahead of Christmas. But then his next post was green and salty, just like my nuts. So like this is why people have been saying like, oh, do we get a Grinch NFT soon? Obviously, we don't know just yet, but I think the Grinch. I think that would be like a Dr. Seuss. Could you imagine? I think someone else might have even called it Dr. Seuss. As soon as we saw the Grinch on David Yu's IG, I heard a lot of people saying Dr. Seuss. And once I start hearing that, I was like, I could see it. I mean, we've already had a book. We've had the comic books. Could you imagine now if we had Dr. Seuss books? VeVe would start really turning into a tool for kids learning how to read, all kinds of stuff. And then, like, shout out to Jeremy Paterwar in our conversation with Wendy and everybody else from the community. We talked a little bit how it's basically like a tech entertainment space that we're in right now. And I really had visions of this whole space kind of going into the education field and kind of transitioning into like a tech education. And so if we get Dr. Seuss books, then just forget about it. This is a wrap. I mean, they're not kidding when, they talk about how, I think it was Al Khan in his interview talked about how they had like 6 out of the 10 highest kids apps or kids platforms, whatever, in the world. And he said it's about to be 7 with VeVe. So like, I think this is just the very, very beginning. Could you imagine if VeVe is used in all schools to learn how to read? Because you don't have to worry about buying physical textbooks anymore. All your textbooks are digital, Dr. Seuss rhyming books, all kinds of stuff. Then eventually when they have the augmented reality glasses, start learning different languages in real time because the captions will just come up as the teachers are talking. Like, this is all stuff that I vision to where one day I really think it will happen. And when it does, I'll probably just cry because it's going to be a wild time. Universal. Could you imagine movies then to where it's like, okay, the Grinch movie, like one of those Grinch movies, like that would be like a 1 of 1. But if it's like a 1 of 100,000 people can watch movies now in their showroom, true, forget it. VeVe to the moon. But I really do see that happening. I've always thought we would have movies from like Will Smith and stuff to where the showroom is going to be like a hangout spot. Like, I can invite my friends over. They come to my showroom, listen to music. Maybe I have music NFTs eventually. Shout out to Pineapple Gang. It's wonderful. Maybe I get some It's Wonderful featuring Johnny Dunn songs in there. Some movies, right? Like, that's definitely how I see the showroom evolving over time. Ooh, Knight Rider. Well, it's a blessing that you do have 7 of them. See, that's the benefit of all these duplicates. Just because it's cheap, they were probably like $5 or $10, not even, right? When you're grabbing 7 of them. And now they're almost at $100. Insane. I was lucky enough to snag a couple 3 digits. I would say the week before they blow up, all the commons. I was going around flipping my high mint common for like a low mint. I was getting low mint commons for like $80, $70 sometimes. Sometimes they're like $150. But luckily I did it when I did because the commons are running up now. That's a good question. Now, you have enough to be able to do so. It's not like you only have 3 and you're asking, should I sell, 1 or 2 of them or 3 of them? You have 7. So even if you sold 3 for 100 and they just kept running up, you still have 4 left, right? So I don't think it's a bad scenario, but I do think there's a lot more room to grow with a lot of those Holy Grail comics. Amazing Spider-Man #1, Marvel Comics #1, Fantastic Four #1, Journey into Mystery, even Deadpool, the New Mutants. I think that's slept on too. I think once all the Grails kind of run up, I think that New Mutants is the one that's going to trail behind it on. Yes, sir, Roman Z. Hey, JD, thanks for the stream as always, and good luck to all today. So much VeVe. Van drop from Universal. Fan drop. Definitely. We in the house. Dubes in the house. Like, that's the thing, Nicole. Like, VeVe has so many brands. So, like, just imagine if they only had the Simpsons licensed, right? For the next month, like the next half year, we could have a whole rollout of every single Simpsons character. Then you think of just every single movie that's in the Disney portfolio. It's just mind-blowing. And then think of everything outside of movies that Disney owns. That's mind-blowing. Disney owns ESPN, like ESPN Plus. So it's like, it's just unbelievable. Their whole entire portfolio is unbelievable. Universal, it just goes on and on and on. That's why I always say it kind of sounded like a joke to a lot of people because they didn't think like VeVe was going to be, this successful this soon, and they didn't see the vision for how long it would last. But when I said that VeVe was going to be the biggest and best NFT platform for decades and decades to come, I really meant that because When you have this many IPs on board, like this many big time brands, they're trusting their entire IP, their intellectual property with VeVe. And they're so overprotective with their IP, with their big brands, to where they're not going to just give the rights to another company for some kind of quick pump. They're all about branding. So it's about a legacy play. Like they're for the long term. Ooh, I would say Darth Maul. I would say Darth Maul and Darth Vader. I'm gonna become the biggest Star Wars fan because of VeVe. I wasn't even the big Star Wars fan before VeVe, but just like seeing all this stuff and augmented reality, like being able to enlarge a Darth Vader with like the customizable lightsabers, it's gonna draw me big time into VeVe. I have the craziest story about the Wonder Woman. I'll talk about it later, but I'm glad I locked one in at least, definitely early. I paid $79 for it. so cheap at the time. But again, it was tough to buy one. I think you guys saw it on the stream that day Wonder Woman dropped. I was trying to buy one on the floor and I wasn't able to. So I kept scrolling down. And even when you scroll down, there's a lot of times when you're not able to keep saying error. But that's when you just have to keep trying. If you really believe in that collectible, like for instance, say this comic book or say tomorrow's comic book. If the drop happens, the market opens, and you see something on the floor that looks cheap, but you really believe in this comic book, just scroll down and pay, $5, maybe $10, even more expensive than what the floor is. Not financial advice, but if you can lock one in just a few dollars more than what the floor is, if you believe in that collectible or really, really want it, I think it's worth it. Because, for example, that Wonder Woman, right? That's what happened to me with Bart and Homer, big time. I paid $200 for it when the floor was $70. Now, if people were probably watching me, or if I told people I did that, I did tell some people I did that, and they were like, "That's insane! Like you paid that much over." And I was like, "I had to lock one in." And some were even like, "Dude, I would have gave you one for 200." And I was like, "All right, like I would have done it," but it's just the example. Like, so if you really believe in something, it's okay to overpay at the time, because if your belief comes right, then it was worth it. You just have to be able to live with if you're wrong. Like maybe I was wrong about the Bart and Homer. I paid 200, the floor was 70, and it just stays around 70, $80, right? And I would have took an L. But now we see it up over 600. It was up over 700 for a while. So, oh, I know, man. I know, Kurt. Don't even attract that energy. Yep, the uncommon's a lot cheaper than the common. Yep. So we're starting to see right now that just because something's more limited, just because it's more rare, does not always mean it's going to be more valuable. So don't let someone try to fool you into saying, "Oh, but this one's less edition, so it has to be more valuable." I mean, we've seen time after time that's not always the case. Is it a factor? Definitely, and you definitely have to consider that as a factor. But you have to consider everything as like not just one limiting factor. You have to consider the whole picture, right? It's supply and demand. How popular is this character? What's the demand? If something's only 10 editions, but it's a crumpled up piece of paper, like there's only one of these, like what's the value of that, right? What's the demand? If there's 30,000 Spider-Man, that's probably going to have more demand than a one of one of a random anything, right? So I think the common, even though there's more editions of that common than the uncommon. Now, I think the uncommon is definitely a good play too, because it's super undervalued, I think. Not financial advice. But that common, even though there's more editions, that pose in itself is the iconic Spider-Man pose. Also, it's the one as soon as you log on to VeVe, that's there too. And so I think we're going to see it happen time and time over and over again, to where the commons end up being the most sought after. And so that's why I think mint numbers play such a big factor. Imagine having, a sub 300 common Spider-Man. Unbelievable. Luckily, I have like a 700 edition. Let me see if I can pull it up. I won't be able to, I don't think, because it's a common. It's really far down. But like, for example, I have a common 3-digit Spider-Man, which I think will be big time, but I won't sell it, obviously. Which is another example to where demand can outweigh if something is just super limited. Yeah. Miles Morales Spider-Man as a 3D collectible. That would be sweet. VeVe is going to turn into Amazon. Exactly. I'm so glad you see it too, Puzzle Master. Because that's the way I see it. That's the way I've been seeing it. Um, like it was kind of a running joke because I guess the way I was saying it, I mean, people always kind of know that I'm kind of, Johnny Rockets out there, like always super bullish on VeVe. But I was really serious when I was talking about how VeVe is Amazon when Amazon was only selling books, meaning VeVe's just getting started. Right now, they only have the drops. They only have the collectibles, the comics, and that's it, That's only going to be a small part of VeVe soon. The same way when Amazon first started, they only sold books. And people are thinking, Barnes and Noble's their competition. It could be tough to compete with them in the future. But Amazon was chilling. They knew what they were doing. Amazon was building the foundation, building the groundwork. And when you have something this big, like an Amazon, you're in no rush because you know where you're going. You know you're going to be here forever. You're not making moves based on, the hour to hour, day by day. You're building a legacy. You're building something that's going to be here for decades and decades. So, day-to-day stuff, it's important, but it's not going to be how you run the company. You're thinking of, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. Did you know that Wonder Woman would blow up? I didn't know, but I had a really good feeling because what we're seeing right now is people are starting to catch on to FAs, first appearance. Now, that was never a thing a while back because people didn't realize or understand the importance of it. People are commenting right now on my statuses and they're messing up my timer on my drop. That's crazy. But so I had a feeling Wonder Woman would blow up. Did I think it was going to happen that fast? No, I did not think it was going to go up to $440 that quick. I had no idea, or else I would have bought, a bunch of them. I would have made sure I had the gems to buy enough. But I only bought one right there for 79. I wanted to lock it in. If I had more gems, I would have bought a second one. I always try to buy at least two. Didn't have enough gems at the time, but that's why I risked it. I sold it actually at the very peak, but I swapped mints. It was gonna keep running up, and I did a terrible. I made a great decision and then a bad decision. But at the end of the day, I only had one. So that's why it's so important to have two, because when you have duplicates, you can you don't have to have so much pressure to make sure you don't lose that collectible. Meaning I could have sold one and just chilled and not even worried about it. Made like almost $150 and bought it at the low again. So one thing I would suggest to new users, even, experienced users who may have just forgotten, etc., duplicates. Nicole said, Johnny, I love your ideas on futuristic talk. Thank you, Nicole. I could go on hours and hours just talking about all my ideas. I feel like that's kind of how I started even live streaming. A lot of people know we've been tuned in for a while. Months ago, I was doing a whole bunch of like 3 a.m. live streams from like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. But all I was just doing was just talking with the fam, all you guys, the community, all about my ideas, where I see VeVe going, etc. Just it was so much fun too, just to talk about where I see things are going, where you guys see things are going. But eventually I had to stop doing the 3 a.m., 5 a.m. live streams and get back onto like a normal sleep schedule because it did take a toll on me. The sports announcements are going to go crazy. Yeah, that's a good point. I agree, Kobe collects. Yep. That's another why duplicates are so crucial. We have a minute to the drop. Kobe Collect said, so sell it when you're comfortable with not having it anymore. Best thing I learned in Pokemon collecting, don't sell anything you'll want back. Prices go up and you'll end up buying back in. And that's why duplicates are so important, because if you only have one and you sell it, there it goes, right? We got 40 seconds to the drop. One more question before. JD, when you're grabbing low mid comments, are you looking to be top 10% or closer to like top 3%? That's a good question. If I was doing it over again, I would try to get sub 500 mints, but at the time I didn't have enough gems. So I was just grabbing any 3-digit number I saw within the gems I had. 22 seconds, y'all. 22 seconds. Let's get it. 15 seconds, y'all. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I had to have gotten it. I got it. Let's go. Man, one tap, one drop. What's the deal? NFT rich with $75 in my wallet. I had $0 last night. Oh man. I gave some of my last $10 in my wallet. Let's hope for a good mint. Or if it's a high mint, hoping for that ultra rare, secret rare. Let's go. I'm feeling an ultra rare, secret rare today. All right, so 22,708. It's a high mint. Feeling an ultra rare or secret rare today, baby. Let's go. I'm not going to tweet this one out because I feel like I get one every time. So people may be getting upset. But I'll retweet everybody who got one. Hopefully I answered your question, Brendan. Like if I was to do it again and I had some extra gems, like a lot of times I was seeing like a 3-digit common. Maybe it was like in the 800s for like $80. And I was like, steal. And then I would just like buy or sell the common and then just pay the difference. And so that's how I was doing it. Or I mean, I would just sell my high mint common, whichever one I had, like a 40,000 edition number, and just pay the difference that way. But if I was to do it again, I would probably try to look for maybe if like the 800 mint was like $80 or whatever, a 400 mint might have been like 150 or something like that. And I probably would have tried to go for the sub 500 if I could. Because I do think, the lower the edition number, the higher the grade it will be. The way I'm seeing it is like when you list these things on OpenSea, Immutable Lex, or any kind of marketplace, it'll probably be listed obviously by how much it costs, but also you're going to be listed by what? The edition number. So the lowest ones are going to be first and probably the ones that are going to be sold after, I think. I agree, Kobe collects. I agree. That's why holding is going to be the biggest thing in the world. I know like flipping can get addicting, selling it, but I think the real wealth will be made in a couple years, few years, and not even like imagine holding these season 1 collectibles, season 2 or 3 for 5 to 10 years. This is not an app that's going to go away in a year or two, right? So these are going to be collectibles to where you're going to be able to pass them down to your kids, and they're going to be. It's a whole new asset class that's beginning right now. These are premium licensed digital assets, premium licensed digital collectibles. It's game changing. Hey, Johnny, PMA, good vibes for the drop. Hey, appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Yeah, that's big time. Big time right there. A duplicate of every golden moment is big, brother. It's definitely good that you talk about this too, because people weren't here in February, March, April, May, right? Crypto King said, when I joined VeVe in February 2021, the marketplace was not even created yet. NFT drops were available days after their drops. It's true, and it's unbelievable because I remember it was a Todd McFarlane Batman. That stayed in stock, in store until end of March. And that was the drop that happened in October. So from October, November, December, 3 months in the private launch, only in March, there were 6,000 left. There was 7,500 total. So from October, November, December, January, February, March. So for 5 months, there's only 1,000 Todd McFarlane Batmans bought. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, think about that. That's how new it was, because people just didn't know that early, right? I was buying 7, 8 Todd McFarlane Batmans as soon as I saw it. And people were telling me, what are you doing, dude? There's not that many people on the app. Like, it's not going to sell out. And I was the moon boy telling people there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people here soon. This is the first ever NFT. This is going to be huge. So luckily I followed my gut, but I definitely think Brendan will get a wallet. Those duplicate golden moments are going to be big time. Waiting is the game. Waiting is the game. Willow Kid in the house. How we doing, brother? Appreciate you for tuning in, my man. Also, I just want to say, you reminded me too, because you gave me a good shout out on Twitter, Willow. We just hit 10K on Twitter. It's unbelievable. This is motivation for anyone right now. If you wanted to start a Twitter account, but you think like maybe am I too late to get in the VeVe community on Twitter? No, not at all. This is the perfect time to get involved. I got on my old Twitter account, had 200 followers. I think it was end of March. I just wanted to get updated with all the VeVe Comey updates. Had 200 followers. Now I have 10,000 followers. To show the growth that not just me, but VeVe. I joined when VeVe on Instagram had less than 1,000 followers. I think 800 followers at the time. What do they have right now? They have 75,000 followers. I joined when VeVe had, I think, 800 or 900 followers. This is the one right here. That's VeVe. 973 followers. I wrote them a DM, basically seeing if I could be like the first live performance on their app. I'm actually going to read you the whole entire message because it's hilarious. Reading this now just makes me laugh, but this shows you, like, I knew this was going to be big time, right? When only 900 people were following them. I said, hi, I'm an artist from South Jersey. Love what you all are doing. Huge believer and early collector. I just made an Instagram for it. VeVe NFT collection. I would love to partner and have some music and live performances set up of my song In My Prime. People can buy it on your app. Let me know your thoughts. I am ready to change the world and grow your company. So, like, I say this all just to show, the growth of this company in such a short amount of time, to where, trust your instincts, trust your gut feeling. You get those gut feelings for a reason. And if you were ever thinking about joining Instagram, a Twitter, for the whole YouTube fam out there, join it. Because in 6 months, you're going to be blown away by the growth. Oh, I know. I'm still baffled by the Ultimate Spider-Man price. Sold 6 at 12 gems. See, that's the thing. Like, when it's so early, you don't really know. But hopefully you got some more dupes, though, Borat, because you did sell 6, but hopefully you have, like, 12 or 10 or something like that. But if not, something of the world. Yeah, I was expecting maybe like a Wolverine for X-Men too. But see, I think the reason why they do that is because now when X-Men drops, it's still gonna have that demand because it's Wolverine, right? As opposed to if they dropped Wolverine as the first X-Men, that would have crazy value because it's the first X-Men and it's Wolverine. And then when Storm drops, it may get the short end of the stick. To where, like, now Storm's getting the short end of the stick, but it's gonna have the demand and value because at the end of the day, it's not the biggest X-Men character, but it's the first one. So they're so good at. That's why they make the commons so valuable and the most sought after. Because if they made, the ultra rare, secret rare, the most sought after every time, it would make commons be worthless. So their reverse thinking of it is genius. It makes sure that everything sells. Like, for example, I always use the Homer and Bart. If they made Homer and Bart the rarer one, it would go crazy in value. But then that skateboard, if it was common, it'd probably be like $200 right now, because it's like, well, it's just a common skateboard, but it's a rare, more limited one, so it puts that value demand in it. And then Homer and Bart already carry such a significance of value because of the characters. It could be a common with 20,000 editions. It'll still be valuable. So, yo, Kurt, that's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. They've talked about how they're going to be adding like different floors, right? Well, I'm going to tell them I don't want a second floor. I want a basement. That's hilarious because I don't have a second floor in my house. I just have the basement. So why can't my showroom be the same thing? I'm really far behind, so I'm going to catch up. I'm going to catch up. Anybody get one? You make that look easy. Let's go, Tony. Willow Kid, let's go. Borat. I got captured, made me nervous. One tap method, too good. No, still didn't get it. Wow, one tap and I was so quick. That's crazy. I think too many people are one tapping it now. The captures make me nervous too, no matter what. I'm gonna tweet out some people real quick. If you got one, tag me. I'll retweet you. One tap, Johnny Gate. Yeah, this is hilarious. I really think one tap is definitely the way to go. I'm gonna do an Avengers gif. Yeah, that's a good gif. This is rigged. Romero Skater Boy said, "No, it's not rigged." Unfortunate. I'm guessing you did not get one, but oh, Nicole struck out too. And I would try to keep going for a rebound. I mean, missed the rebound. So basically, supposedly it's like every 4 minutes. So like in two more, actually, it's way past that now. So it should be like every 4 minutes. So you would have had like 3 tries by now almost. But basically, if you don't leave the screen, Nicole, like for instance, my buy now button is still up there. But obviously, I'm going to get this message every time I click it. So you may feel like pointless or hopeless if you just keep clicking it. But obviously, like right now, there's 13 minutes past it. Chances of still getting one, not great. But if you stay on the screen right after and try for the next 5 to 10 minutes, it could be worth it. I mean, you may not get one, but you could get one. Wow, so Knight Rider got the rebound. Got one on drop and right now on rebound on minute 4. Let's go. So every 4 minutes, excuse me, seems to be the trick. No. So this happens to me too all the time. Nicole said my finger actually missed the buy button. And when I pressed again, too late. It was over with. I tried a few minutes for the rebound, but no. So that's the unfortunate part about trying to time it or like one tap, because if you're geared up mentally, just go one tap and you miss the buy now button. It happened to me a couple of times ago, like last drop. Miss it once, you're not really prepared to find it again and keep tapping, to where those people who just tap, 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 tap and like spam it, you don't really have to worry about hitting the buy now button the first time because like you're already going for it. So I would say if you miss the buy now button, that's the downside and the downfall of one tapping it. Cool again said Dennis Rodman gate. That's hilarious. I'm guessing he got a rebound. Wow, that's impressive. Shout out to Sam Ellis. He said, so this just happened. My partner just hit the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sequential number variation. Can't believe it. We collect together, so naturally she sent it to me. That's crazy. This is big time right here. If you get something like this, anybody? Like a focus up a 1, 2, 3, or a 1, 2, 3, 4, or the Holy Grail, I think. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To have 5 numbers like that sequential, it's so big to where that's huge. Trevor tweeted out, exciting stuff on the horizon. Brock said, sun confirmed. That's hilarious. The Domer. Domer got one. Thank you, Drew Seller. Big time. I think with rebounds, you click at 3 minutes and 59 seconds or 4 minutes exactly. I'm not sure, but I want to say at 4 minutes exactly. Kurt says he spams the button on the rebound. So that's probably the best bet. I would say it like wow, interesting. Okay. So Eva Unit said grab the rebound at 9:05. A minute after the 4 minutes. So I don't know. I would just keep spamming it on rebounds. Johnny D back at it again. Let's go. By the way, 3 for 3, Coffee Gate. Let's go. Actually, I don't. Did I have Coffee Gate today? I don't think I got Coffee Gate. No way. December, what time is it for you? You get killed with all these late night drops. I think it's probably like 2 a.m. or something for you. December says, LMAO, bro, I just closed my eyes for a while listening to you, and the next thing I knew, sold out. Man, I fell asleep. Only got one. Yeah, it's hilarious. December. Makes sense. Like first appearance of the X-Men, make it more like a marquee character. It would make sense, like logically speaking. Like for me, I mean, the only X-Men I really know like well is Wolverine, and I've been waiting for a Wolverine collectible. So it would make sense to have a Wolverine be like the first X-Men ever. But again, I think that's their logic of kind of why they make the commons sought after. Because the way I thought about it, I was like, if Storm dropped, later in the series after Wolverine was the first one, I wouldn't even really be in the Storm. I would only get Storm to try to get all the X-Men. So I think Storm's value would go down big time. Even though it's kind of dipped big time right now, I think over time people will put value on Storm just because it was the first X-Men ever released on VeVe. So I think they add in value, demand for a lot of these characters that may not be as big for that exact reason. But obviously, like first X-Men ever, you're thinking Wolverine, right? Oh man, Z Brito said he loaded gems, he wasn't able to get one. It is frustrating sometimes, my man, but just be patient. I know you don't want to hear that, but you got to remember, if you loaded gems and you didn't get one, it kind of stinks. But we have a bigger comic book dropping even tomorrow, so now's definitely not the time to give up, I would say. I mean, the great thing about loading gems pre-drop is if you miss out today, like you still got another chance at a great, even better comic book tomorrow. So you don't have to preload those gems, but I think it is a better choice to do so if you can, just because you don't want to have any errors or anything like that. Um, when you're about to buy the collectible and you don't have the funds or something like that. Smash that like button. Hey, appreciate you. Fun under the sun. Wow, Brendan didn't get one. He said he's saving his luck for tomorrow. He means it. I could say it. I think you're gonna luck out big time tomorrow, my man. Knight Rider said, "Can you please explain why everybody saved gems for relistings at the end of the year? I mean, I don't understand why the prices will dip at this moment." I think I understand what you're saying. So basically, what you're saying is, why is everybody saving gems for the end of the year? You're saying? Well, I think a lot of people are anticipating a dip once that money transmitter license rolls out to everybody. They're thinking that because people will be able to cash out, it's going to tank the market and crash it. But see, I don't think so. I really don't. And I say this for a few reasons. One, because VeVe's smart. They're not just going to let everybody cash out and then, oh, that's it. Everybody cashes out and that was it. Like, no. They're going to roll out, I think, the Master Collector program. Probably a more finalized version. Probably around the same time everybody can cash out to make people remember, you have the option to cash out, but then you won't be having those collectibles on the app to get those points for the Master Collector program, which will allow you to get this, or that. So I think that's going to help big time. And also, one thing is being able to cash out makes this VeVe investment a safe investment at this point. We just waited for 10 months finally for the money transmitter license, and now that we're getting it, people are fudding it, saying it's going to crash the market. You have to realize that for 10 months, people who are millionaires, big whales, people who have hundreds of thousands of dollars willing to put into this app, for the most part, majority of them saw VeVe as not a safe investment. They saw it as a very risky investment because you couldn't cash out, you couldn't withdraw. You had to just trust the team. Now, all of us in the midst of it all, we've been to every AMA, right? Every interview, we know the team, we trust the team, so we're all okay with putting in as much money as we did without being able to cash out. But for most of the people, for majority of the people in the world, especially those with millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the fence waiting to be put in, they're waiting to be able to withdraw their money because then this VeVe app seems like a safe investment. So I think the people who are fighting it, saying it's going to crash the market, I think they just don't realize what or how many people will have been waiting for this moment to happen. Now, will there be some dips? I'm sure there's dips. There's dips every day, even without the MTL, right? Like we just watched Spider-Man or Wonder Woman go from $450 all the way down to $300 in less than 24 hours with not even MTL for everybody. So that's a dip right there. So there's dips in the micro all the time. So I think, I wouldn't get too worried about that. I do need a shirt that says premium licensed digital collectibles. I'm really far. I'm like 12 minutes behind this chat. Let me catch up. Wow, 8 minutes rebound. Kelvin's mom got one. Let's go. You know what's funny? A lot of people have good luck with older phones. And what I've been told the secret for that is people have been using older phones, but have been going to like good Wi-Fi centers, like a Starbucks or a McDonald's or something like that. So that, for some reason, has been something that's working for people. I'm not telling you to go buy an old phone and go to McDonald's to do it. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people have had like the iPhone 7 and they use it all the time for these drops and have great success, but they just go to some place that has great Wi-Fi. It's crazy. They call it ping hunting. I'm like, what? It's unbelievable. Maybe I should start doing live streams from McDonald's or Starbucks. Could you imagine? Night Rider, smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. God bless the chat. You know, I saw you guys get the secret rare. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is big time. Let's go. That rare got delivered quick too. Zebra, it is definitely unfortunate that you've tried for 3 weeks and haven't got one. And I definitely feel for you. That's definitely frustrating for sure. And I think some people may leave for sure. I'm not saying that it won't turn some people off. I'm sure it will turn some people off for sure. But as many people, you know, the few people that leave, I think they're going to continue to bring on, you know, double that, triple that, 5 times that amount as we continue to grow. And the people who leave, I think they'll just come right back. You know, we're going to get to a point to where it's a lot more, I would say, fun, fair to a lot of people. Someone like me, I may not like the new system as much, right? I love how the drops are right now. But I'm not selfish to where I already have a big collection. If they feel like they have to do it to make it, you know, grow the company even more, you know, I've been under the impression that eventually it may change at some point. I just want it to change into a way to where it's still fun. It's still exciting because I think the last thing that we want is to, you know, please everybody every week, give everybody a participation trophy, right? Kind of like how it is in T-ball, everybody wins type thing, and that's not worth anything. So it's a balance they have to try to meet, and I think they will meet it eventually. Because, for example, if they do a waiting room type drop, which they've been talking about, and it's like a 20-minute waiting room. I mean, on DraftKings, I thought about my favorite player, Tiger Woods, getting an NFT on there, and I was in the waiting room and forgot about it. I was like, I don't even want it anymore. I was like, so if I hope one day that doesn't happen on VeVe to where the waiting rooms are 20, 30 minutes long and the drops aren't even fun at that point, because for me, like I probably won't even want that collectible anymore. And so I think if they can keep it to like a 10-second, 5-second waiting room type thing, I could see that still being fun and exhilarating. Shout out to Jeremy, NFT Jeremy. He put out a video on it, so if you want to check it out, go shoot him a like and check out his video on it. I thought, you know, I don't love these ideas of the waiting room, but I also know that the systems now, they may not be able to keep it, even though I think the systems now are so much fun. And I love how the drops are right now. I really would hate to see them kind of have like a T-ball approach and give everybody a trophy. Like, here's a participation trophy, you know, everybody wins. Because here's the thing, like, Decon, right? Super limited drops. Everybody was kind of upset that they didn't get, or they only got one thing on Decon, or maybe not have gotten anything. But then you saw the prices in the market; they were pretty high, pretty valuable in a lot of them. So if they did a reverse, you know, made everybody happy in the micro, you know, made tons of additions for Decon, all those drops, the market would have been oversaturated, and the prices would have been nothing. And all those people that would have been happy with a participation trophy would have been mad days later and said, "Why is my NFT not worth anything?" So again, I mean, the limited collectibles make it hard to get when there's hundreds of thousands of people. Probably we have 1 million active users now. So think of how many people are on drop day going for an edition that only has 30,000. It's hard, you know. Let's go. 7,575. That's a low mint though. I mean, not crazy low, but sub 10K. Anything sub 10K I think would be great. Oh, Simone, what happened? What happened? Literally, bro, every time there is something important, I take an L. Do you mean like you had to go somewhere, or like an important drop? We have a more important drop. I would say even tomorrow, though. So it's the every 4, 4, 8, 12, 16. I wonder if next switch it's going to be 8 and then 16 and then 24. Like, because the first one was every 2 minutes. Yep. Nah, gee. So if it's pending, it means that you got one, you locked it in. It's going to take a little bit to get delivered. Hey, rares are definitely solid to get. You don't have to preload your gems, but I think it's a good idea if you can preload your gems, just because, God forbid, you don't preload those gems. You anticipate you're able to get it after you get the drop, and an error happens, it logs you out, whatever. You don't want to be in that situation. So if you can preload the gems, I definitely would try to as well. Because worst case scenario, you don't get this drop, you don't get the next drop. You still have those gems to where you can make moves in the market, or just save them until the drop you eventually do get. It's not like you're ever going to waste them. Hey, Brendan, bro. That's awesome, man. You're grinding out here. And I just want to say, we all appreciate you big time, my man, because you're not only in my streams, videos, comments, you're in everybody else's videos, live streams, comments, supporting them too. And like, people like you make this whole community work, because we're influencers trying to get the message across, and you're supporting that message. You're showing other people. You're a big supporter, my man, and we appreciate you big time, Brendan. Shout out to Brendan Z and everybody else who constantly supports all the influencers on YouTube, Twitter. I mean, December Bitcoin's been here for day one. Loyal, Kurt, Kelvin. We got a bunch of people, right? Dudes, Willow Kid. We got a whole bunch of people. Sorry if I didn't mention you. You know, everybody knows who's been here for a while. Is that Rolando or Arlando? Right. See, people just don't realize that this is how it works. These are limited edition runs. That's why they're valuable. If everybody got a trophy for participating, what is the value of that trophy? This is what Borat said. People are annoyed at taking L's on this app. I took consecutive L's for Nike sneakers for 2 years straight, never won a drop. This app is miles fairer than that. And I think that's what people have to realize. I mean, with Nike shoes, I mean, just with shoes in general, Jordans, if you want that limited shoe, which is the same concept here, right? That limited physical collectible, physical license collectible. If you want that, people camp out in the snow, rain overnight. We have the luxury of just waiting in a virtual line on our phones in our house. So, like, absolutely. Oh, marketplace is open already. Let's go. I don't even know what I got yet. I'm trying to find out first. I got one. Oh man, it's a common. It's just a common. I really thought it was gonna be something big. So I got a common high mint. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. 22708. Nothing wild, but again, I'll take it. Actually, the market's not open just yet. I thought it was going to open right at 8:30, or I mean 11:30. Hey, Green Goblin, make a move. Let's see some good prices. Brendan. Wow. That's hilarious. I don't think they I don't think they announced the mint count just yet for tomorrow. They might have on Twitter while I was live streaming, but I don't think that Medium article is out just yet. Paul Will said, "What's good, JD? What's your VeVe username? I owe you." Hey, my man, you don't owe me anything. What is it? Why do you feel like you owe me something, my man? Marketplace should open very soon. It's not open just yet. It was a false alarm. I think Nicole just meant, yeah, she just meant like she's ready for it to be open. I thought she meant it's open. She fooled me. I don't know if tomorrow's going to be 70K. Do you mean for the comic books? I don't know what I have a feeling it's going to be. I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be kind of like today's. Another 30,000 edition. Could be 60,000. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be super limited, like a 20,000. If it is like a 20,000 edition drop, it's going to be very, very expensive, I think. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Harry Potter or Toy Story? Me personally, Toy Story. What do I think will be more money, more valuable? It could be Harry Potter. That's an interesting call, actually, because I'm a big fan of Toy Story. I wasn't really big into Harry Potter, but I know Harry Potter fans. It's like a huge cult following, right? Toy Story is huge, but I feel like the Harry Potter fans could be stronger. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like Harry Potter would definitely be more valuable. But me personally, I would rather have Toy Story. I think it can be forwarded to somebody else. So Kelvin's asking, did you get confirmation if the Disney Plus subscription can be forwarded to somebody else? I believe it can be forwarded to somebody else because you just need to send the code. I actually didn't even get my Disney code just yet, which is interesting. I should be getting Disney Plus. And if I get 2 of them, I will be doing a giveaway to give one away. Nicole's a Harry Potter fan. You hooked it up last time. What's the name, bro? Hey. Appreciate you big time, Paul Will. I don't remember what did I send you something or I just helped you out? I forget, my man, Paul Will. I appreciate you for offering that. Hey, what do you think we'll get for Christmas drops? And great initials. Great initials, by the way. Christmas. Maybe we see a Grinch drop. I mean, David Hughes been teasing that. Other than that, I really don't have any predictions. I really can't imagine what they're gonna drop. Um, I haven't had any real predictions. They kind of got me guessing all over the place right now. For around Christmas time. Maybe they don't even surprise us Christmas. Maybe they surprise us early 2021 with something big. But I think Christmas will get a little Christmas special type thing. I don't know who you go for the license to get Santa Claus, but if anybody knows, it's Alfred Kahn. That's for sure. Harry Potter for more profit. See, like that's where you can go with trying to time things, right? I mean, maybe Harry Potter, if they did both come out, say they both came out like around the same time, maybe you go for with what you like, or maybe you go with what you think is going to be more valuable. Stock up on that, duplicates on that one, sell it off, and then go back and get what you like for basically free. But the downside with trying to, excuse me, time things like that is it's hard to time things perfectly. 10K editions, that'd be crazy. How are they going to be able to breed the Labits? I don't know. That's actually a good question. We don't know details on that just yet. Um, we only heard Kozik talk about that. Just mentioned it a couple times, right? Market is still down. Oh, okay, okay. I didn't realize that. A if you give it to if you send me something, I may send it as like a giveaway. You think I should? You don't have to send me anything though, my man. Paul will. I sent it out to you just because I was feeling. I have a lot of duplicate comics, and I felt like, everyone's doing giveaways. I felt like in the giveaway spirit, so I just gave away a bunch of comics to people. Shout out to Luke Blackby though, man. He was the one who sent me a secret rare comic. Unbelievable. I'm still gassed about that, bro. I look at it every single night. I'm just like, I can't believe I have a secret rare comic now. Unbelievable. IMX for Christmas. Maybe it's the transition, right? Yeah. Bash 121, my man. He sent that quick. Is this an original owned? Let's go. Bro, I appreciate that big time. I won't sell it. That's mine. I'm going to keep. Appreciate you big time, my man. See, I like doing that too because we essentially just swap collectibles that way, right? And so what's going to happen is in the future, we're going to see the ownership. We're going to be able to see. It's kind of like what you bought it for. You have that kind of visible, right? You see the previous amount that you bought it for. We're going to see the ownership soon. So, if you get a collectible, say from David Yu, it's going to say, David Yu's username as the previous owner. So the one I sent you, it's going to say Johnny Dunn. The one that you just sent me, it's going to say Bash 121. So I think stuff like that will be really, really cool in the future. It's just a part of VeVe that hasn't even gotten there just yet. Kind of like what we see with the autographs, right? Shout out to anybody who's got a signed collectible, signed comic, because they started rolling that out. Anybody who's went to some of the DCon or some of the other Comic-Con, right, events. And I think that's going to be of a more common thing we see maybe towards next year. I think they wanted to roll it out this year, but with everything else going on, it kind of just got pushed back on one of those things priority list. But stuff like that, big things looking forward to. What are Labits? So Labits are the Frank Kozik. They do sound weird. Like if you've never heard of them before, you're like, what is a Labit? Right? They kind of grill me, I won't lie. So the market's still down, actually. Dang it. But let me just bring up my collectibles. All right, so here's one of the secret rares I have. This is one that was given to me from the VeVe team. They gave out a lot of them, actually. 3,000, that was a secret rare. So those are the Labits, the Frank Kozik Labits. What's the ultra rare? This is the ultra rare backstab one from the secret from the series 1. Just some artwork from Frank Kozik. I actually thought about selling. I've listed my secret rare Labit for sale. But then I kept delisting it. And so I think how they're going to breed the Labits is, if I was to completely guess, I have no kind of information. This could be completely false. And this is kind of why I delisted my secret rare Labit a few times, because I was like, you know what? In case this does happen the way I envision it, it's going to definitely go up in price. But I really wanted another collectible to invest in, so I was going to let it go. But haven't made the decision just yet. So the way I see it is anybody who has set series 1, 2, I don't know how many series are going to be of the Labits. I mean, I'm guessing there's a third one if Ron English had 3, but I have no idea. So I think, because that'd be an expensive 3 series, actually, 1, 2, and 3 of Kozik. So maybe it's just the first 2. I have no idea, but I don't have the series 2, unfortunately. But I thought maybe if anybody who has, series 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3 of Frank Kozik's, they would be able to use one Labit out of them all and breed it with like the secret rare. And then that way they can come up with like a extra collectible type thing. But again, I have no idea. I only say that because I was like, why is this secret rare that many editions, right? You would think a secret rare would be a little bit more limited. But if they only did that just to kind of, because it was all because of the gem thing that happened, right? Anybody who had the gem fiasco, they got gems taken away by accident. The VeVe team, compensated by giving them a collectible. So that's why I think there was more editions. But I don't know. Hey, where'd you get the VeVe lamp? So it was a secret rare drop on VeVe. No, I'm just kidding. So the VeVe lamp was something that the VeVe team gave out to a bunch of just people in the community that were just supporting them for a while. They also gave out the little I don't even know what you want to call it. This VeVe thing. This is the one in the middle that Andrea made, and then they gave me that one as well. This one is what I'm really happy about. I haven't even cased it yet. David and Dan's signature. That's an awesome one to have. So, and also the apparel and all the shirts that they sent us. Yeah, OG supporter. Absolutely. Definitely blessed for that. It was just great that they looked out. Z Brito, the Adventure Time is one of my favorite set. I hope one day I get the gems to buy Finn, Jake, or Marceline. Yeah, I like the Adventure Time set. I like that set a lot just because it was one of the early sets. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Adventure Time Series 1 and 2, maybe at least the first one, came out in 2020. I think all those sets in 2020, pre-beta, are going to be legendary. So I know, Adventure Time is not the most popular IP brand. It's not Batman, Superman, or Spider-Man. But it came out in 2020, pre-public launch. That's why I think it's going to be so valuable. I just want to show you guys, too. This is why I think the Spider-Man, it's that common pose right there. Like, as soon as you log onto the VeVe app, it's there. I think they will make it public too, Brendan. I think they will eventually. I think they could incorporate this somehow, using that as like a physical utility with maybe like a VVIP drop. Maybe, one of the drops one day are like 3 different VeVe logos that you can put in your showroom. And then anyone who gets the ultra rare or the full set will get mailed a VeVe sign or stuff like that. I think it's a really great and optimal way to include that utility with the stuff that VeVe already owns, right? Okay, yeah, so it's the second one on the second set. I knew the one of the Adventure Time sets was in 2020. I wasn't sure if both of them were, but I think anything that dropped in 2020 is going to be legendary. Okay, so that might be a thing. They might just give it out to events. That's kind of why I was seeing it as like a utility type thing, to where instead of people buying the merch right away, they could use that as a utility factor, real world. Like, okay, you get the full set. We ship out, some shirts to the full set holders type thing. Hey, appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Let me check Twitter, see if they announce anything real quick. A lot of times they'll announce new drops while I'm streaming. Yeah, and on Twitter, VeVe has 143,000 followers. Ecomi has 150,000 followers. Unbelievable. Where it said, I feel like for a digital brand, it makes more sense to give out digital badges, etc., rather than physical merch. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. It's definitely less costing on like shipping, etc., stuff like that. So maybe you're right. So maybe they do, instead of shipping out full set holders of physical VeVe sign, because that'd be a lot of money in just shipping it out alone, right? So like you said, maybe they end up giving some kind of badges for the VeVe collectibles, because I do think eventually in our showrooms we're going to be able to have VVIP logos, signs, maybe all kinds of stuff, to where maybe you do get badges instead of some shirts. How do they advertise in the physical world? I wonder. With us, this is how they advertise, right? I mean, that's why they kind of also rewarded a lot of the OGs, just because, I mean, we were here with less than 10,000 users on the app, and the community really did help, blow this thing up. It's just been unbelievable, to where we've saved them a lot of money, millions of dollars, to where we've been kind of just promoting them for free, helping them grow for free, and at a rate to where it's saving them millions of dollars. They don't have to go and spend money on advertising right now. It would actually hurt their business if they spent money on advertisement and just blew up way too quick, to where, like, all of the influencers, we're scaling up the user base as they need it. So this would be amazing portfolio. Maybe they switched it to where, because I know that's been a huge complaint, right? Why can't I get in the market if I don't even know which one I got? So maybe they changed it. I actually hope they do. It would be nice to see that. That deserves a clip on Twitter. How do they advertise this with us? This is a fact, man. I mean, they didn't tell us to do this. We kind of all took initiative on our own in the very beginning to really help blow this up. And so that's just why they're giving back to a lot of the OGs that help, kind of get it started. You got Pazmania in the building, another huge loyal OG supporter, big time. We got Paz in the house. Mark said, AR glasses ads coming soon. I could definitely see that. That's definitely a great point. I know people would get pissed, like, I do not want to be seeing Facebook ads in the metaverse. But I think it will happen. Yeah, I definitely see it happen. Got an uncommon small win. Let's go. It's all about stacking up small wins in life and in VeVe. 4-minute rebound. Let's go. Low mint. How we doing, Anthony? How we doing? Uncle Drew, like, appreciate you big time. Yeah, still no market. But Brendan, I think what they're doing is possibly waiting till everybody gets, the comic delivered, which I think is a great idea. I mean, obviously, we're all eager to rush in there and grab something right now. But I think if that's what the reason is, I think it actually would be a great call. It just means I may not be able to stay on stream until the market opens. It all depends when it opens, right? I have not. Luckily, I got one. I got a high mint common, so nothing crazy. But I did. Oh, bro, you sent me an uncommon. My God, I didn't even realize. This is crazy. Another time. Shout out to you, Paul Will, my man. Hook me up with an uncommon, brother. So it's so funny because when I check to see, like, whoever delivers me something, I can only see in the notification, like, the title of it. So it was a high mint. I just assumed it was a common. It's an uncommon, my man. So now I got the common and the uncommon. Thanks to Paul Will. I sent him a comic book the other day when I was sending out a bunch of them, and he wanted to return the favor and send me one. Thank you, my man. I won't be selling that one. So that's what he sent me. And then this is the one that I got. I got the common 22,000. Nothing crazy. 22,708 is the one I got. Nothing crazy on the drop. But I'm glad Paul Will sent me one of his. That's awesome, my man. Yeah, so I got mine sent right away. I mean, I don't know about right away it got delivered, but I mean, it got delivered pretty quick. Yeah, I thought, 300 would probably be the floor on Wonder Woman. Maybe it gets down to like 275-ish or something like that. I haven't really seen it, but I think under 300 is solid. Probably might stay around 300, 350-ish for the short term. Okay. So I think the whole entire world is waiting on Joshua to get his comic delivered so we can open the market. I don't really know for sure if they're waiting until everybody gets a comic delivered, but that could be the case. Could you imagine if Josh really was the last one, and he was on our live stream. Josh, let us know when you get your comic delivered. They're running bots. That would be wild if Josh tells us the live stream, all right, it got delivered, and then the market opens. That would actually be wild to see. If I'm last, it better be a secret rare. Yeah, I hope it's a secret rare too. I mean, what's your mint number? If it's a higher mint, I think it's got a possibility. Wow. Okay, so it must have been a little glitch. Brendan, he got the Hawkeye secret rare when the number was in the negatives. No more info on DC Comics. We don't know for sure if we're going to get them. I'm under the impression that we will, but I'm not positive. I'm just guessing that we would, just because I think, VeVe's got everything. So why would they not have DC Comics? Okay. This makes sense. I may have to hop off then. Look at the comments, yo. People are ruthless. All right, so VeVe just put out a tweet. There's a slight delay in market reopening after today's drop. We will update when it's back up. Thanks for your patience. And look at the comments. When immutable migration, IMX. People are like, we know what's happened, right? We know it's coming soon, but market is broken. The entire comic section is all Marvel. I agree, it's a little much. Yeah, I mean, the first response to the tweet is, yeah, no. Yeah, people are crazy, man. I mean, it's just relentless, right? It's funny because it's like built up frustration, built up like anticipation. We've all been on this, journey together. This rocket ship, as Kelvin said, we've all been this rocket ship together since March. We know it's going to explode. We don't know when, so we've all been cooped up. That's what it feels like. We've all been this tiny little rocket ship since March, and we don't know when it's taking off, but we know it's happening. And so, like, imagine, all these people in one little place together for months and months and months. That's kind of what it's like right now. So we're just, it's why we're a big family, because we've all invested so much time, effort, money into this. And we know what's going to happen. We just don't know when. There's people that get out of the rocket ship, people that try to come back in, right? But it's headed out of space. It's headed towards outer space. We don't know when, but it's going to happen eventually. Twitter needs to chill. Do you think independent comics will launch also? Like by independent artists? That's a good question. I don't see that happening soon, but I think eventually, yeah, I could see artists making music, independent artists making music on VeVe, independent artists with comics, books, authors. Like, absolutely, I see that eventually. But I think they're gonna wait until they have all like the license, big name brand stuff first. Yeah, so it's not waiting for Josh at the end of the day. It could be. It could be somewhere else. I'm not sure. I do think it will be on VeVe though. Anthony said, I think DC Comics will be at Palm since it's different licensing. I just think VeVe has the whole market cornered to where I think they got them eventually, but who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe we just have Marvel Comics and that's it. But I definitely think we have everything. But all right, guys, I wish I could tell you the market prices, but I don't know when it could be coming back. It could be like updated in an hour or so. So what I'll try to do is stay around, and I'll try to be around the YouTube channel, because I'll create a post. I'll make sure I write it on Twitter too for any of the Twitter fam. But as soon as that market opens, I'm gonna try to create a post saying market's open. I'll create a Twitter tweet saying market's open, just so I'm hoping. Uh, but also just stay tuned, because I want to make sure you guys get the update, check the market and everything. I'm hoping me and Pineapple can be on there one day for sure. I gotta start making a lot more music though. That's a fact. JD, did you get? I don't know what you mean by that, Brendan. Yeah, this would be amazing. Mark Casey, VeVe Comics, 1 tab for Marvel and 1 tab for Disney or DC. I mean, that would be awesome. Comment, a giveaway. Yeah, so definitely leave a comment once this gets uploaded. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think the next collectible is going to be? Do you guys think it's going to be a big collectible drop? Are we going to see something huge, or is it just going to be a little timey over to 2022? Brendan, you're crazy. But Common Gang, yeah, I wish I could go over the market right now. But again, I got high mint common, and then shout out to Paul, man. Paul did a solid one. He sent me over an uncommon. Where's Paul's username? I want to get Paul up here one more time. Where's Paul Will. Here it is. Appreciate you big time, my man. Let me give you one more shout out. It's so funny because, again, second time, I didn't know what rarity it was. Got the comment on the drop. And then shout out to Paul Will. He sent me over the uncommon. Focus up. Focus up. It's a solid day. Solid day. I definitely won't be selling that. That's the one I'm keeping. Appreciate you, Paul. Big time. All right, guys. I'm signing off. Stay tuned for all the market updates. You know, definitely will be a market opening soon. So I'll let you guys know ASAP. I'll create a post on YouTube. Stay tuned to that. And again, I want to hear your comments. What do you guys think the next drop is going to be from VeVe? We know there's a big comic book dropping tomorrow, but I want to hear guesses. I want to hear predictions. What do you think the next collectible is going to be? Is it going to be this weekend? And do you think it's going to be a big drop or something to kind of just tie us over into 2022? Let me know down below in the comments once this gets uploaded. Appreciate you guys big time. We're signing out. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, y'all.